If you are a U.S. citizen, a green card holder, or someone waiting for immigration approval, you may have seen headlines this week about executive orders affecting green card renewals. And I want you to take a breath, because I know how unsettling those words can feel. My goal today is not to scare you. My goal is to explain what is actually happening, who is truly affected, and what you need to know in simple, honest terms. My name is Alex, and I run this channel to help you stay informed without the confusion or the fear. I am not here to create panic. I am here to give you clarity. So let's walk through this together, step by step, with the facts. Before we go any further, I want to make something very clear. I am not an attorney. I am not a government official. I am not giving you legal advice. What I share in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you have a specific legal situation or concern, please consult with a licensed immigration attorney who can review your individual case. My role is simply to explain things in a way that makes sense, especially for those of you who find immigration language overwhelming or confusing. So let's start with what is actually being discussed. There have been reports this week about possible changes to how green card renewals are processed, reviewed, or prioritized. Some headlines make it sound like green cards are being taken away, or that renewals are being stopped entirely. That is not what is happening. What we are seeing is a shift in how certain applications may be reviewed, particularly in cases where there are questions about eligibility, criminal history, or documentation. This does not mean that every green card holder is suddenly at risk. It does not mean that renewals are being denied across the board. It means that in some situations there may be additional scrutiny or slightly longer processing times. For the vast majority of green card holders who have maintained their status, followed the rules, and have clean records, this changes very little in your day-to-day life. Let me be even more specific about who this applies to. If you are a green card holder who has lived in the United States without any criminal convictions, who has filed your taxes, who has not committed immigration fraud, and who renews your green card on time when it expires, you are not the focus of these changes. The individuals who may face additional review are those with serious criminal backgrounds, those who obtained their green card through fraud or misrepresentation, or those who have violated the terms of their permanent residency, such as abandoning their residence by living outside the United States for extended periods without a re-entry permit. These are not new grounds for removal. These have always been part of immigration law. What may be changing is how closely these cases are being looked at during the renewal process. Now let me tell you who this does not apply to. If you are a naturalized U.S. citizen, your citizenship is not affected by green card renewal policies. Once you are a citizen, you do not have a green card anymore. You have a U.S. passport. Your status is permanent and protected by the Constitution. If you were born in the United States, you are a U.S. citizen by birth, and none of this applies to you at all. If you are in the process of applying for a green card and you do not have one yet, this is about renewals, not initial applications, though processing times and review standards may shift across the board. But renewals specifically refer to people who already hold a green card and need to replace it because it is expiring or has expired. Let's talk about some of the myths that are circulating right now, because I have seen a lot of confusion online. Myth number 1, your green card is going to be taken away without warning. That is not true. The U.S. immigration system operates on laws, evidence, hearings, and due process. Even if there is a question about your eligibility, you will receive a notice. You will have an opportunity to respond. You may be scheduled for an interview. In extreme cases, you may be placed in removal proceedings, but even then, you have the right to see an immigration judge, to present evidence, and to have an attorney represent you. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens in secret. Myth number 2, renewing your green card is now dangerous, and you should avoid doing it. That is absolutely false. If your green card is expired or about to expire, you must renew it. An expired green card can cause serious problems with employment, travel, and proving your legal status. Renewing your green card is not optional, it is required. And for the overwhelming majority of people, the renewal process will proceed normally. Myth number 3. If you have ever made a mistake on a form or missed a deadline, you are now in danger. Mistakes happen. USCIS understands that. What matters is intent. Did you intentionally lie or commit fraud, or did you make an honest error? Did you try to correct it? Were you responsive when asked for more information? Courts and immigration officers distinguish between innocent mistakes and deliberate misrepresentation. If you are unsure about something in your past, that is a conversation to have with an immigration attorney, not a reason to panic. Let me now explain some important distinctions that often get confused. There is a difference between being a naturalized citizen and being a green card holder. Naturalized citizens have almost all the same rights as citizens born in the United States. Your citizenship can only be revoked in extremely rare cases involving fraud in the naturalization process itself, and even that requires a federal court proceeding. It is not something that happens lightly or quickly. Green card holders, on the other hand, have conditional permanent status. That status can be lost if you violate the terms, but again, it involves process, evidence, and legal proceedings. There is also a difference between delays and denials. A delay means your case is taking longer. A denial means your application was rejected. Most of what people are experiencing right now are delays, not denials. USCIS is overwhelmed. There are backlogs. There are staffing shortages. It is frustrating, but a delay is not the same as a denial. Another distinction: dual citizenship versus loyalty concerns. Some people worry that if they hold citizenship in another country, that will be seen as a problem. It is not. The United States allows dual citizenship. Millions of Americans hold passports from other countries. That is completely legal. What is not acceptable is if you obtained U.S. immigration benefits by lying about your identity, your background, or your intentions. But simply being a dual citizen is not a red flag. Finally, let's distinguish between rare situations and everyday reality. Yes, there are cases where someone loses their green card. Yes, there are people who are removed from the United States. But these are the exception, not the rule. Most green card holders renew without incident. Most people who apply for citizenship are approved. Most families who petition for relatives eventually succeed. The system is slow, but it does work for the majority of applicants. So what should you actually do right now? First, if your green card is expiring within the next 6 months, or if it has already expired, file your Form I-90 to renew it as soon as possible. Do not wait. Do not avoid it out of fear. Renewing on time protects you. Second, make sure all your information is accurate and up to date. Use your correct name, address, and travel history. If you are unsure about a question, seek help. Do not guess. Third, keep copies of everything you file. Keep your receipt notices. Keep your appointment notices. Keep records of your travel, your taxes, and your employment. These documents may be useful if you are ever asked to provide additional evidence. Fourth, if you are called for an interview, go. Be honest. Be polite. Bring the documents they request. If you are nervous, you can bring an attorney with you. Fifth, if you receive a notice that seems confusing or concerning, do not ignore it. Do not assume the worst. Read it carefully. If needed, consult with an immigration attorney who can explain what it means and what your options are. Now let me tell you what you should not panic about. You should not panic if you see a headline about immigration enforcement or policy changes. Headlines are designed to get clicks. They are often exaggerated or taken out of context. Wait for the actual policy. Read the official announcement. Understand who it applies to. You should not panic if your case is taking longer than expected. Processing times have been unpredictable for years. It does not mean something is wrong. It usually just means the system is backlogged. You should not panic if you are asked for additional evidence or scheduled for an interview. This is routine in many cases. It does not automatically mean there is a problem. It may just mean they need to verify something or update your file, and you should not panic if you hear rumors from friends, family, or social media. Immigration law is complex, and rumors spread quickly. Always verify information with official sources like USCIS.gov or a qualified attorney. Let me give you some context about what is happening more broadly with immigration processing right now. USCIS is facing some of the longest backlogs in its history. Green card applications, citizenship applications, work permits, and travel documents are all delayed. Some people wait months or even years for decisions. This has been going on for a while, and it is getting worse in some categories. At the same time, there have been changes in enforcement priorities, changes in how interviews are conducted, and changes in how cases are reviewed. Some of this is due to executive orders. Some of it is due to internal policy shifts. Some of it is simply due to staffing and budget issues. For you as an applicant, what this means is that you should expect delays. You should expect requests for more evidence. You should expect that things will take longer than the estimated processing times on the website. None of that means your case is in trouble. It just means the system is slower than it should be. If you are waiting for a green card interview, know that some field offices are scheduling interviews many months out. If you are waiting for a citizenship ceremony, know that ceremonies are sometimes delayed or rescheduled. If you are traveling internationally and you have a pending application, make sure you have the proper travel documents like a re-entry permit or advance parole, or you risk abandoning your application. These are not new rules. These are standard parts of the process. But in the current environment, it is more important than ever to follow the rules carefully and to be patient. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the emotional side of all this. I know that waiting is exhausting. I know that uncertainty is stressful. I know that when you see a headline that says something is changing with green cards or visas or citizenship, your heart skips a beat. I know that you have worked hard to build your life here. You have followed the rules. You have paid your fees. You have waited in line. And it feels unfair when the process is slow or when the rules seem to shift. You are not alone in feeling that way. Millions of people are going through the same thing, and I want you to know that it is okay to feel frustrated. It is okay to feel anxious. But I also want you to know that the system, for all its flaws, is built on laws and procedures. It is not random. It is not chaotic. It is slow, and it is bureaucratic. But it is also structured. Your rights are protected. Your case will be reviewed. And if you have done everything correctly, you have every reason to believe that things will work out. Let me bring this all together. The truth is this: there may be policy changes that affect how green card renewals are processed. There may be more scrutiny in certain cases. There may be longer wait times. But for the vast majority of green card holders who have maintained their status and have no serious issues in their background, this does not change your daily life. You should still renew your green card on time. You should still follow the rules. You should still keep your documents organized. And you should still stay informed without letting fear control your decisions. The immigration system in the United States is strong, it is structured, and yes, it is slow. But it is not random, and it is not designed to trap people who are following the law. If you have concerns about your specific situation, talk to a professional. If you are just trying to understand what is happening in the news, take a breath and look for facts, not headlines. I want to thank you for watching this video. I know your time is valuable, and I appreciate that you chose to spend it here. If this video helped you understand things a little better, or if it gave you some peace of mind, I would love it if you would leave a comment below and let me know. You can also share your experience, ask a question, or just say hello. I read the comments, and I learned from them. If you want to stay informed about immigration updates, citizenship news, and changes that affect seniors, green card holders, and families, consider subscribing to this channel. I do my best to explain things clearly and calmly, without the hype and without the fear. And I will continue to do that as long as you find it helpful. Remember, you are not alone in this process. You are doing your best. Stay informed, stay patient, and stay hopeful. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.